I listen to a lot of what you and Anna Marie say. I listen to almost everything, and I follow it very, very seriously, and I feel very good about it. However, most of the people in my life don't, and they kind of say, look, I go out to restaurants, I eat steak, I eat chicken, I eat fish, and you say all these bad things, but I'm okay, I look fine, and the truth is, they're okay, and just like, a lot of days I say to myself, I am eating sprouts and juices and all this, and they're eating anything and everything, and they didn't fall down today and die. They're still there, and everything's good. So for all the people that are saying, I don't really see a problem, I'm healthy, I eat fish, I eat chicken, I eat a little cheese, I don't eat that much red meat. Again, I know you've answered this 100 times, but what do you see that eventually happens that I'm only 52, that I'm not really understanding, that they're not understanding, that makes you so concerned about people that continue to eat animal products?
Well, and we have different genes. I mean, we have, if you come from Eastern Europe, Russia, Poland, you have much stronger genes than most of us here, or even from Sweden. I mean, we see that. And so you might have started with much stronger genes because your grandparents lived much more natural. And, it takes 3 generations to screw up, and it's going to take 3 generations to get healthy. So it takes really 3 generations, and I think we're definitely 3rd or 4th by now. And so, that's where we're at. And we have different weaknesses depending on what happened also to our parents, So so some people are going to look, but look, what we find, most of us get away with murder until 50, and then it starts sneaking up on us. So the first 50 years, we're like, we can do anything, and we are going to look good. I say the first 30 years, you can eat anything and look like a movie star, but then you start paying for it.
Look at the kids eat McDonald's,
yeah.
And they look like they're
chocolate all day,
these kids.
So it catches up with us, and some people get away with it much longer. But, look at what we have. I mean, look, I went through it the other day. Thyroid cancer has gone up. Well, that was 2013, but with 41% since 1990. Breast cancer, 44%. Lung cancer, since 1990, 56%. And so on. So, we're paying the price, because this did not just happen. It did catch up on us.
And I'll add something to this, too. You have to remember that people now in their 80s and 90s, when they were children in their developing years, were eating organic food. They also ate substantially less animal food. When I went home and announced to my family that I was going to give up all meat and dairy food, my poor parents, who had no education in this, thought I had cracked up. Because they, like you, were taught and indoctrinated, if you gave up meat, you'd starve to death. If you gave up dairy, your bones would break. So they said, we always thought Brian was a little strange, but now we think he's cracked. He went nuts. But who came over to me was my little dear grandmother, Gertie. And Gertie said to me, after everyone else left the room, "You're going to be okay." And I said, "Why do you know that, Nanny?" She said, "Because I ate that way when I was growing up." And although I was young, as time passed, I started to speak to my elder friends, and they said, yeah, they used to eat meat once a week. The only affluent families, very, very affluent families, ate a lot of dairy and meat. Many families didn't eat dairy at all. That wasn't part of the menu back at the turn of the 20th century. And so that's one thing. So these people were fundamentally strong. Now, the other thing is, what we've seen, and a lot of listeners do not know this, is per capita, listen closely, per capita, people above 65 have less catastrophic disease than people below 35. So if you just look at that, that in and of itself should let you know we're not going to have the same outcome in another 25 or 30 years. Generation X and millennia are highly sick people. I'm sitting every single day. Well, that may not every day, but every other day, or 5 days, 4 days a week sometimes, talking to somebody who's 20 years old or 10 years old with major disease, cancer. We're talking to kids. The other day I talked to a 17-year-old kid that ended up with arthritis when they were 14. This breaks your heart. Today we talked about autism. What's going to happen with that? I mean, there's not an issue. I mean, if you're a neurotic, depressed person, you should leave this conference right away. I'm going to tell everything we talk about is frightening here. But if you're an optimist, knowledge liberates us.
So just to be clear, Anna Marie, you're saying the statistics are very disturbing. Are you also saying, which was my original question, that we can pretty much opt out of this whole disease thing, that if we go on this program, that these terrifying statistics don't really, like if you don't want lung cancer, stop not smoking is a great first step. Are you saying that for diet, dramatically can opt out of this?
Look what Nelson Campbell showed with his movie now. In 10 days, this is what he did. And, for 60 years, the Institute has shown this over and over and over again. The data is definitely totally out there. And, yes, what you see when we lose weight, for example, if I have diabetes, what it does to diabetes, why wouldn't it do the same for cancer? Why wouldn't it do the same for any problem that we have? Absolutely. I would never take no for an answer.
We have a gentleman right now at the Institute who's probably my age. He went to our doctor. We were so concerned. His blood sugar was like 300, some crazy number. And she said, well, you better get on medicine. He wasn't on medicine. And I said, yes, you better get on medicine. He told us he was going to do it, never did it, and came to me after he was there 11 days. He's not normal, but he's almost normal in blood sugar at this point. But he also quoted and said, by the way, I've lost 27 pounds in 11 days. Wow. So what do you see in a case like that? This guy was bloated beyond belief, 27 pounds lost in 11 days. It had to be 60% water. You don't lose that much weight unless it's water retention. And that must have been putting almost congenitive heart concerns into his body. And certainly it was bloating him and smothering the cell. So the glucose, the sugar in his blood, couldn't burn up in the cell, and so it remained in the blood, calling it blood sugar. So you see these cases. Now, not everyone is going to do that in 11 days. Sometimes it takes months to do the same thing, but it's the metabolism, the sincerity, and the desire of an individual too.